Welcome to a special 8-part series of the Banking Transformed podcast, recorded at MeridianLink Live in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm your host, Jim Marous. During this series of episodes, we dive deep into the world of digital transformation in the financial services industry. We speak with executives from a diverse range of financial institutions, each of whom has embarked on a unique digital transformation journey to become more future-ready and responsive to the changing needs of their customers. We explore the strategies, challenges, and lessons learned by these forward-thinking organizations as they navigate the complex landscape of digital transformation. Whether you're a financial services professional, a fintech entrepreneur, or simply interested in the future of banking, this series provides you with valuable insights and inspiration as we explore the cutting edge of digital transformation in the banking industry. We hope you enjoy these candid conversations with organizations of all sizes. Hi, this is Jim Marous of the Banking Transformed podcast, reporting directly today from MeridianLink Live at the Gaylord Hotel in Nashville, where over 1,700 bankers are here learning more about digital transformation process, learning from MeridianLink, learning from a lot of their partners, and learning from each other as people get together and share their stories. So today I have Janel Hartin from Bangor Savings Bank with me. Janel, before we start, tell me a little bit about your background, your career, and then tell me a little bit about Bangor Savings Bank.
Sure. I've been in banking 25 years. Actually started as a teller and found a passion for lending. And so when I had the opportunity to move into more of a lending role, took that, worked my way to a branch manager, and then shifted completely to teach lending to other bankers. So I spent about 10 years as a lending trainer, and then I was kind of poached over.
About adjudication, or what do you mean by lending trainer? What is that exactly?
So when we bringing in new lenders at the bank or promoting internally, I had the opportunity to teach them the systems, kind of go over the basic C's of credit, sales acumen, so that they could learn how to present and solve needs for our customers.
Tell me a little bit about Bangor Savings Bank.
Bangor Savings Bank was established in 1852. We have been around a bit. Yeah. We are a community bank, started as a savings and loan company, and have maintained that style of banking through, since 1852.
Yeah.
We are about a $7 billion bank with 68 branches in Maine and New Hampshire. But we do lending where our snowbirds are. So we lend all through New England, and then the Carolinas and Florida as well.
The East Coast,
the
probably.
East Coast, yes.
Yep. I live on the East Coast as being a snowbird, and I'm against the grain because I'm from Ohio, so we're supposed to be on the West Coast, but we got on the East Coast.
We'll keep you.
So a little bit about what you do in the lending field right now with the economic and uncertainty out there. There's a lot of things going on in the lending field. Number one, the generation of new loans has slowed down. But the delinquencies have gone up. So what have you seen at your organization? How are you doing on the acquisition of new loans, but also on the delinquency rate and how your loans are performing?
So it is a fine balance between continuing to acquire new loans and maintain that risk tolerance that we have. We want to lend solidly and meet the needs of our customers, but also not open the bank to extreme losses in our consumer portfolio. We've just added credit cards we were doing credit cards with a vendor, but we've taken it in-house now, and so that's been a big push. So new. Yeah. But also finding that balance between our risk management partners who, say tolerance, and our need to continue to offer good loans and credit cards to our
Now, would you consider Bangor Savings Bank to be more of a lending organization or a deposit generation? I mean, and not you have to do both because they have to be equal somewhere along there. But the reality is, a lot of organizations are known as the best neighborhood lender. Some are being maybe the best new account acquisition customer.
Yeah. I think that we are, of course, a fine balance, but we are a deposit loan company. Yeah. Our tenure was, we were founded to provide housing, to provide loans for mortgages. So we're finding that balance between the two. We are a heavy depositor, and the lending has been more of a, well, we have a need. We have a customer who has a need. Let's do that loan as well.
So you've been at your organization for quite a few years.
I have 18. Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, what has been the biggest difference in the way loans are done, and the way customers are wanting to have loans done?
It's 100% the digital experience. Over the last, 3 years, really shifting from a very paper-based process, from a handwritten application to now we're able to do it digitally, underwrite it all very, very quickly, and then close it digitally utilizing a DocuSign.
So you can go from the beginning to the end, entire digital, without having to come in the branch.
You can.
And that's all in the last, how long is it?
2 years, really.
So 2 years. So your partnership with MeridianLink has really been with a North Star focus, saying, as far as the front end of the process, we got to get it in and out of the door as quickly as possible with the least amount of duplication of efforts and friction that is possible, so that the consumer wants it this way, we're going to do it. And now, did you take that digital application, digital process, then into the branches to be able to do it the same way, for they would benefit from what you did from a digital platform basis?
We really did. In order to, take that data quickly, e-sign right there, close, whether they're still in the branch or they've gone home, and we are able to email the documentation, fund it, and post it to their account all within an hour.
How crazy is that when you think about that? It used to be you build the branch platform to do whatever it may be, new account acquisition, loans, whatever else, and then move it to online, which before mobile. Now we're taking what we can do mobilely and say, now we want to bring that, even if it means we're giving tablets to employees, to say we want to bring that process to the branch. So in this process, you're collecting data. You're collecting information that now digitally is easier than picking up on paper back in the old days. How does that change the risk measure? But more importantly, how does that change the way you work with customers that do have a delinquency? Because I've seen more and more organizations really taking that as a customer experience opportunity, a wellness journey opportunity, and the people that used to be collectors are now customer service agents and truly living that mode, using data available to help them along their journey of wellness.
So that data collection, we have a business intelligence team that is collecting data from all of our LOSs, pulling it from our core system, and then being able to kind of hone in where we have a need, even right to a customer level, to be able to address that education piece, that we're here to help work through this so that we can get you back on your feet or get you moving forward. Our collections team, our special assets team, is fabulous at being able to work with the customer.
Our special assets.
I
like that.
They are very special.
It's like, I'm height challenged. I'm not short. I like that. That's good.
So they work with our customers to help get them back on their feet, get on track. And that has maintained an ability to keep our delinquency rate a little lower, and allow us to help that customer where they're at. Couple that with the education piece. We spend a lot of financial education for our front line, really helping them to understand their own financial wellness and be able to parlay that with our customers.
That's interesting. We haven't had that come up in a show before, that basically you try to provide the same tools to your employees you do for your customers, because they have the same real life problems.
Right.
And the last thing they want is for those real life problems to be with the organization they work for.
Right.
That's fear.
Huge.
Yes. And so when you're working with this and make it all come together, and you recently, are relatively recent as a MeridianLink customer, as the partner that basically is bringing brand new, seamless loan process to the table. How did you select MeridianLink? How do you select any partner? Because there's many partners that play in your loan side. There's many partners that your organization is doing in a composable solution basis. So how did you pick that?
Well, we did spend a lot of time researching. We were with CRIF prior to, so that made Meridian an easy, really dig in and find what they can do and how they can do it, compared to some of the other vendors that were out there offering similar loan origination software. Meridian and their digital, where they were going, seemed to in line with where we need to go as a bank in order to, again, we're in Maine and New Hampshire, but we want to help our customers no matter where they travel to. So that has to be digital. I mean, we don't have a branch in the South, but we have customers there.
So overall, would you consider yourself a digital bank from the standpoint of where your vision, your perspective, your culture is right now? Or is that coming, it's just starting? Where's that overall from your perspective? Because you've been there for a while, so you've seen all these changes, but sometimes it's hard for organizations to let go of legacy processes, systems, especially in the lending side, but in the overall organization. Is a customer going to come to you for a digital organization?
We hope they will, but balance that with, we still want to be where our customers are. We're still opening branches in pockets of the state that we don't have a presence. We opened in our mid-coast just recently, so added our 68th branch across Maine and New Hampshire. So we still want to be where our customer is, and then also be able to meet them where they want to be digitally on a mobile device, that they could start and finish that process if that's the way they choose to do lending.
We keep on talking about using mobile device to start and finish the process. How long does this take?
Well, for a personal loan, I mean, they can enter within minutes, even
is that for an existing customer? An
existing customer.
Or how about a brand new customer?
Brand new customer.
Because I know it's a little different when you don't have information on them.
Right. I would say in less than 5 minutes, they can submit an application.
I come into your branch.
Yep.
Nobody. It takes 5 minutes or less.
Within 5 minutes, submit your application.
So that's a relatively recent journey.
Yeah.
And I know MeridianLink has taken that same journey, maybe just a little bit ahead of you, to be able to do that, because that takes not only the ability to think about how do we do it digitally, but you can't do that front screen until you get what's behind the screen, the back office.
Yeah.
How do you communicate that process to your employees?
Yeah.
Because a lot of their jobs depended on, honestly, a more manual process.
Right.
How do you communicate that digital transformation without making them feel at risk?
Yeah. So that behind the scene process is really about the communication piece of an app is in, it's been assigned, if the lender needs to be involved, they can get that information pretty quickly. Meridian's automation for automated actions, their communication tips and setup is fabulous, because it lets me automate a file's in, it's in this status, send it to Jim. So Jim can reach out to that customer right away if I need him to. And if I don't, it's about collecting enough information that I can fully underwrite it without having to go back to my customer for additional information, which is nice. You're,
again, with risk in mind all the time, with avoiding delinquencies, your focus is not on cost reduction as much as it is on experience enhancement.
Absolutely.
And that's not always the case. We, in the history of banking, you've been there for a while. We introduced ATMs, we introduced online banking, we introduced mobile banking, we introduced everything out there in order to cut costs and make it so there'd be fewer customers in a more expensive platform. The reality is, we just increased transactions. We didn't really do that. But to put the customer first and say the rest will take care of itself, growth and everything else. Have you seen growth as an organization?
Oh, yes, for sure. Explosive growth in the last 15 to 20 years. And I do attribute a lot of the digital services, meeting the younger customer, giving them the ability to connect with us. We are also a bank that is very connected in our communities. They give us 32 hours paid each employee to do volunteer work within our communities.
Oh, wow.
And so having that connection in our towns and our cities where we live and be able to help our community.
Doing banking the old-fashioned way with a lot of modern tools.
Yeah.
And that's difficult because you're in Maine.
Yeah.
You have a very major bank in that area.
We do.
That was acquired several years ago now. But they were known for the dog biscuits, the pencils, the pens, the flags, the parades, all these other things. And one question I always ask them, and it was, I asked it honestly, is how do you transfer that feeling to the digital experience? How do you deal with dog biscuits and pens and things like that, all those engagement tools? How do you do it? Because you obviously have the same challenges, the same market, the same people.
We do. It's finding that way to still be a big bank and maintain a small community, but be small enough to still be big, to meet those big needs.
That's nice, yeah.
I think our marketing team is fabulous at speaking to our customer base, having it not say enter name, enter, and that it's more conversational and keeps that connection. And keeping our branches involved. I mean, those are the people that they know and that they want to continue to work with.
So it's interesting that it's the communications process. You're a trainer, so that's something near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
But to be able to not only talk, but to listen to the employees, listen to the members, the consumers, the customers, and to be able to build a platform that makes it so that can grow. As you look in the future, you've done a lot of things. You've accomplished a lot of goals that most people could only dream of, namely the amount of time it takes to open a new loan. But given that, what's the future? What do you see as what you need to do next? What does your organization have to do better?
I think we need to continue doing what we're doing, continue the connection, continue that community, and then continue our growth in cross-sell and continuing finding the ways that we need to meet our customer where they are. They have additional needs. I need to be able to have a system that's going to say, and I can also see that you need to refinance or should refinance, or that you could consolidate this and be at a more favorable rate than where you are. So we need to continue to look for the solutions that are going to help our customers because things are expensive now. Things get tough. And so if I can help them. So
MeridianLink has really pushed, and we've been doing some research on their behalf around onboarding the loan customer.
Yeah.
It's harder to onboard a loan customer when they come in digitally because you're not having that face-to-face. If I start to try to cross-sell you, it's very infrequent that you're going to get up from the desk and just leave in the middle of it. But you can do that with the digital device. You can go, thank you very much, but thank you very much, but I'm gone. And you hang up. How are you working to build an onboarding process or extended engagement? Because in a loan, I get it, and I can forget it for 24, 36, 30 years. How do you build that ongoing engagement?
I think there's the challenge for sure. We were a indirect lender for years, a very big indirect lender, but we found that we didn't have the customer relationship because we got a car loan and they were done. They can pay
Never
that
walked into a branch.
No.
When coming to the branch was part of the process.
You're right. And so they could set it up and pay it, and they never show up in the door. We moved out of the indirect business because we wanted to focus more on that customer and that community connection with them. So it is a challenge for sure. It's the reach out, it's the follow up, it's utilizing we built our own CRM so that we can really connect and have that contact from a branch, from their local individuals with our customers, so that we have the opportunity to build out a deposit relationship that follows up that single loan. Yeah.
So what keeps you excited about what's going to happen? I mean, what's going on now? Because you're obviously at the cutting edge of what MeridianLink offers, and that's all good. You're pushing them. You work with them to build better and stronger products, but you also have to have the culture internally for your organization to be able to do this. What do you see down the road? What do you see exciting?
For me, I think it's that continuing to meet our younger market. And it's a lot of our employees as well. I look around, I'm like, oh, the people I've worked with for years are all retiring. When am I going to retire?
I've been asking that for 15 years. Yes.
But, meeting that newer customer base, and, I think the financial growth, that education piece, of course, near to dear in my heart, but helps them to be able to grow with us. So that's kind of where I get excited about building that relationship and helping them to, today it's just a credit card or a small loan, but tomorrow, hopefully, they'll be able to do a mortgage when that changes, hopefully, so that they can continue to grow in their needs and that we can help support them. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you, Jim.
Really appreciate your insight and your perspective, because as a trainer of the loan division, you got to get on the inside of not only teaching people, having them listen, but you also listening back to say, what's not being understood. And as the marketplace continues to evolve so quickly, you also have to teach them a little bit about what the consumer expects, what the customer expects on the line. And I think it's interesting how your organization really has mixed the legacy of the organization with the modernization of technology that's available, and made it in such a way that obviously it's working because you're growing. And there's a lot of organizations that have the tools but aren't growing. So you got it's a juggling act sometimes.
For sure.
Than't you so much.
Appreciate
it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Banking Transform, the top podcast in retail banking and the winner of 3 international awards for podcast excellence. We appreciate the support we've received from MeridianLink in making this 8-part series of episodes a success. This has been a production of Evergreen Podcast. A special thank you to our senior producer, Leah Hassage, director, Dave Douglas, audio engineer, Chris Fafalius, and video producer, Will Pritz. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep innovating and transforming.